All right, Coach, we're going to start with Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports and then Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Monty, kind of hard to track back to the first half after how wild the second half got there with the crowd, but just your overall thoughts on how the game progressed as it went on.
I just thought it was one of our better defensive halves of the year against a really good offensive team. We just were relentless with our effort, our coverages, communication. It was pretty good. There were a few breakdowns, but the guys knew what the breakdowns were right when they happened. And just thought our defense carried us the whole night. And then we started knocking down shots, in the third. We had, 2 big quarters in the second half. But it was really balanced tonight. The scoring, Chris had 15 assists. But across the board, got contributions from everyone, but it was just the effort and will that I saw out there on the floor tonight, and that travels. And we're going to need that when we go to play against these guys in a couple of days.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic and then Jovan Buha.
Coach, I know obviously, you say games take a life of their own. When did you get the sense that you guys were locked in that way defensively?
We always try to come to the gym in the morning with a great deal of focus. And the guys were talking about, everything that we had reiterated yesterday. They were talking about it this morning in our walkthrough. And I think when you see the communication on the floor and you can see guys pointing to, places where they need to be, that's a good sign. I thought the play that Torrey made in transition where he, ran down, I forget who shot the ball, but tried to shoot a jump shot at the free throw line and then Torrey blocked it. Like that's a sign that we're pretty locked in on that end of the floor. So there were so many plays that happened tonight. And, it's hard to pick out one, but that one sticks out in my mind.
Next up is Jovan Buha with the Athletic, followed by Nick King.
Hey, Monty. This was the second consecutive game that all 5 starters were in double figures, and your starting group has played more minutes together than any lineup this season. So I'm just curious, what has that continuity done for you guys, and what type of growth have you seen throughout the season with this group just getting better and better, particularly the starters?
Well, it's hard to point out one thing. I think it's an unselfish group. They're willing to make plays for each other. We share the ball. That's part of our DNA. And, it helps to play together for a long period of time. We don't have the experience that a lot of the playoff teams have, but we've had this year to gel. And we've had a lot of close games at home and on the road, so that helps. But I think having Mikal and DA and Book together in our system for 2 years certainly speeds up that process. And Jay and Chris, those guys can pretty much play with anybody.
Next is Nick King with Channel 3, Channel 5, and then Catherine Fitzgerald.
Monty, you were just talking about the play that Torrey had, and he missed kind of a tip-in opportunity before he runs down to get the block. And then it leads to a Dario 3. And a couple minutes before that, Cam Johnson had driven, got blocked at the rim, chased down, got the steal. You guys come down, it leads to a Dario dunk. You kind of hit on it, but those types of plays, just what kind of value do they bring and how much do they excite you?
I don't get excited much, so I just like it when we make plays like that. We've just talked about being relentless in everything that we do and moving on to the next play. We always say, do the next right thing. So if you miss a shot or make a mistake, sprint and turn and go down and try to make a play for the team. But that's the relentless force that we feel like travels. You can take that on the road, the effort that all of our guys showed tonight. And, we understand it's a long series. We won 2 games. We can't get happy on the farm. We got to get back into the gym tomorrow, look at the film, and see what we can do better.
Next is Catherine Fitzgerald with the Arizona Republic, followed by David Brandt.
Hey, Monty, you mentioned Chris's 15 assists. To do so also with 17 points, 0 turnovers. What did you make of his night tonight? And have you seen a playoff performance like that from anyone else?
Yeah, he's just he manages games better than anybody that I've ever been around. You know, he just understands once he gets an idea of the offense and the guys he's playing with, he has the ability to, you know, use his talents to make everybody else better. And then he knows when to, you know, take over in moments. So, you know, guys have to make shots, but you know, Chris is one of the rare guards that can put passes right where they need to be. So guys are more effective when they catch the ball. And his ability to take care of the ball, even when he has it a lot, it's not something I take for granted. Our team doesn't take it for granted. It's why he's been successful everywhere he's been.
Next up is David Brandt with the Associated Press, and then Cameron Cox.
Hey, Monty, DA got those 2 early fouls, and then he played the rest of the game without fouling. How important was it that he was still able to make his presence felt while not fouling and being able to stay on the court during important minutes?
Huge growth moment for him. He was pretty frustrated when he picked up the 2. He did a really good job of getting his emotions back to a balanced place. And then when we brought him back in, you know, he was able to be effective without fouling. He moved his feet. He had his hands up in the air, and he did a really good job of being aware of his personal foul situation. That's a growth moment for him for sure. And to do that on that stage, and we're going to need him to have that kind of awareness when we go on the road. So I'm sure that Chris and Jae and Devin and our older guys were in his ear. And then I talked to him about just, you know, keep your emotions intact. I get it. It's frustrating when you want to play and you pick up 2 quick ones like that. But I thought he did a really good job of coming back in the game and being really effective on both ends of the floor without picking up a foul.
Next is Cameron Cox of 12 News, followed by Greg Moore.
Monty, your team has always played with a level of confidence kind of all year, even when things are tough. They bounce back pretty well. How would you describe the level of basketball they're playing right now?
I mean, we're just trying to play the right way and for each other. We try to play hard every single night. That's who we are. That's our DNA. Our guys share the ball. I think the thing that's really cool to watch is guys making plays for each other. But this is playoff basketball, and that's how we have to play for us to be successful. We know if we play hard, share the ball, and defend, we give ourselves a chance to win. I'm grateful for, you know, getting 2 wins at home. Now we got to get ready for a tough challenge on the road.
Final 2 questions are Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic and David Chinelato.
Thank you. Coach, congratulations on the great win. Thanks for taking so many questions. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. Coach, when you talk about playing the right way, does that have to do with offensive diversity and being able to score at all 3 levels, 2-point shots at the rim, 3-pointers, and not being overly reliant on any one element of the game?
I think it's all of the things you said. It's also setting a screen for your teammate to get them open. It's also sprinting back in transition so that someone doesn't have to guard your man and their man. You know, those are things that we talk about, playing the right way. It's not just offense and making the right pass. It has a lot to do with boxing out so that we can, you know, get the rebound after playing defense hard for 14, 15 seconds. So we try to do the best we can in that regard. And as I've said before, we have guys who are unselfish and want to play for each other.
Final question is David Chinelato from Italy.
Hey, Coach, congrats for the win. Going back to Chris, is he, I mean, you've been together for a while now. You know him since, you know, his New Orleans days. Is it surprising you, the level he is playing right now? Or did you expect him to be this good even at 36?
I would never doubt Chris, that his ability to manage the team, his track record has success all over it. And everywhere he's been successful. So he works his tail off. So yeah, he's 36 years old, but he's doing a lot of stuff off the floor so that he can be effective on the floor, from diet to the weight room to all the people that work on his body. And he's a mentally tough human being. So I'm just grateful that I get to, be around him and all of our guys. With all that being said, we have a lot more work to do. And I'm sure if he were sitting right here, he'd say the same thing. Like, we won 2 games. We got to get ready for a tough game the next time we step on the floor.
All right, Torrey, thanks for joining us. We're going to start with Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Torrey, obviously going up 2-0, you talked about enjoying playing against the competition, playing against your former guys. What was it like tonight to not only play well, but have the crowd going, and then you guys play as good as you did to take the 2-0 series lead?
It was good. I feel like we came out and did what we were supposed to do. We got home court for a reason, and we're trying to protect it the best we can and take advantage of it. So, yeah, we just went out and did what we were supposed to do. Now we got to try to go on the road and steal something.
Next up is Nick King with Channel 3, Channel 5, and then Kellen Olson.
Torrey, this is the second game in a row, and maybe even more than that Chris has really engineered the start of these fourth quarter runs where you guys kind of put the team away. And obviously you were a big part of that tonight too. What is he doing? What are you guys doing to start these fourth quarters?
We're just trying to continue to play aggressive, It's the playoffs. As the NBA, crazy things can happen no matter how big of a lead you have, and we know that. So we try to take advantage of the moment and don't take it for granted, and put our foot on their throats, and that's what we've been able to do these last couple of games.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Jovan Buha.
Hey, Torrey, when the crowd is building like that in the second half for 2 straight games now, as the lead gets bigger, what's that like for you guys on the floor to just get that lift from them when the building explodes? You've had the big plays to get it out of them both nights.
Yeah, man, it's fun. It's fun. Just their energy. I remember being in the timeout one time, and I don't know what happened. I think a guy took his shirt off, and they just went nuts, and we all just looked at each other and just looked around and just shaking our head like, this is wild, like it's crazy. So they definitely give us energy, and it's that extra edge to play even harder, man. So I can't even express in words what those fans mean to us.
Next up is Jovan Buha with The Athletic, and then David Brandt.
Hey, Torrey, that was the second straight game that all 5 starters have been in double figures. What to you makes that lineup so dominant and so special that they've had so much success this postseason?
They have great chemistry together out there. You can see it. The ball moves. Everybody knows their spots and their shots. Jay's know where he's going to get his shots. Book and Chris can get to their spots, and Mikal just feed off of it, and DA. Yeah, it's just their chemistry is unreal, and they're playing at a high level right now, and that helps us, the bench unit, when we come in, because they set a standard so high that we have to maintain it, and it makes us play at a high level as well. So it trickles down to the whole team.
Next is David Brandt with the Associated Press, and then Greg Moore.
Hey, Torrey, kind of building off the chemistry thing, it seems like the second unit's chemistry is just as good, if not better, than the first sometimes. You and Dario and Campaign, I mean, it seems like the sum is even better than the parts. What makes that work? It seems like sort of a weird mix sometimes, but you guys are almost always effective.
Yeah, man, like I said, just we know each other well. Like we have strong chemistry on the court. And offensively, we know what we want to do. We want to play fast. We want to play 0.5 movement, swing the ball. Everyone touches it. Everyone gets shots, and we know that we're hard a team to guard like that. So the more we emphasize that, the more we score and go on runs. So we just try to continue to do that at a high level.
Next is Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic, followed by Gina Mizell.
Thank you. Torrey, congratulations on the win. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. What was the key to taking Denver's 3-ball away? I think the first 3 quarters, they were shooting something like 20%. What was the key to being effective, stopping them there?
A lot of it was us just being aggressive on defense. You know, Porter is he could really light it up. So just try not to give him any clean looks. And Jermichael Green, those guys, Paul Millsap was able to hit some shots late, but some of it was us and some of it was them just missing shots. So we can't take all the credit for that. But yeah, like I said, we just try to make it tough as we can on those guys and rebound and get out and run.
Next up is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, followed by Kevin Zimmerman.
Hey, Torrey, a sequence that Monty just pointed out was when you got the block from behind and that leads to the Dario 3. But before that, you couldn't quite finish that tip in. And I know Monty talks about doing the next right thing all the time, but I'd imagine that can be easier said than done sometimes. But how do you kind of just flip your mind and say, okay, this didn't work out for me, but I'm going to go back down and make a play on the other end?
Yeah, with me, I don't care what happens on the court. I'm gonna continue to play hard and with effort. So I miss a tip in, I miss a shot. I know how important it is to get back on defense to try to get those possessions because in the playoff, and every possession matters. Having a little bit of experience with that, I've grown to know that. So yeah, just try to not take nothing for granted and leave it all out there on the floor. And yeah, that was an example of that.
Final 2 questions are Kevin Zimmerman with Arizona Sports and Kyle Fredrickson.
Hey, Torrey, I know last game you guys weren't super pleased with how you came out defensively in that first half. Were there extensive discussions just in the past day or so that had you guys so locked in, just ready to go in the first half today?
Yeah. We talked it over in the locker room. We watched film. We talk about it in the morning at shoot around. So everyone is pretty much on the same page. We're locked in, coming to the games, knowing what we need to do and how we need to defend those guys as a team. And we did a great job of executing that tonight. Joker's a great player. He's going to make tough shots and he's going to score, and we're not going to be able to stop him every time. But I think DA has been doing a really good job. We've been putting bodies in front of him, trying to show him a crowd. And I think we've been doing a good job of that.
Final question is Kyle Fredrickson with the Denver Post.
Hey, Torrey, good to see you. I was hoping you could sort of reflect, on your time in Denver, being that the series is going on, and maybe some of the relationships that you built, from the front office to all the players, and also how valuable has some of your insight about the team been in your preparation and maybe even in-game adjustments during the series?
I still have a relationship with those guys. Like Michael Porter Jr. is one of my great friends. Like we talk, like you said, almost every day. Every time I see Jamal, it's like a brotherhood. Those guys are going to forever be my brothers, and everybody in the organization, the coach. I still love all those guys. But yeah, we're just trying to take advantage. We came here, we got 2 games at home. Now we're trying to go on the road, and it's going to be a tough environment. I think they got full capacity crowd. I think they got full capacity now. So it's going to be a hostile environment, the altitude, but we just have to stay sharp mentally and go in and get a win.
All right, Chris, thanks for joining. We're going to start with Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Cameron Cox.
Thank you. Chris, I'm trying to figure out who's on that shirt. I can't get it. I need time to figure that out, but just getting to the game itself, I know you focus on so many things. You want the guys to focus on so many things. What's sticking with you right now in terms of how you guys play tonight that says, okay, you know what, they're following the game plan, or they're following this part of the game plan?
Just our approach to the game. Mon always says, don't get happy on the farm. And I think that's, the thing for our team is just staying the course, understanding that we won game 1 and we did what we were supposed to do and just winning the first 2 games.
Next is Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Nick King. Cameron, you there? All right, we'll come back to Cameron. Next up is Nick King with Channel 3, Channel 5.
Chris, another game where you guys pretty much step on the throats to start the fourth quarter. For you, another deal where that arm, that shoulder is really loosening up, or what are you feeling early in those fourth quarters?
Just filling the game out. I feel good. I feel really good. And, I missed some easy ones early or whatnot, but with the way that we play, the ball is going to find you. We got so many great shooters on our team and guys that not only shoot it, they can put it on the floor. So we just play the way we've been playing all season long, and that's as a team.
Go back to Cameron Cox with 12 News.
Hey, Chris, can you just take me through that fourth quarter? What do you think's been the difference for you guys in that fourth quarter?
I don't know. I got to go back and watch it. I be such in the moment when the game going on, just trying to figure out how we can win it. But, we start that fourth quarter, we understand the importance of it, and whether we start with the first possession or we don't, getting a stop and playing with the right pace. And this crowd here, I tell you, it helps a lot. And that's what we were just talking about in the locker room. We got to make sure we travel with the same energy.
Next up is going to be Kent Somers with the Arizona Republic, followed by Kellen Olson.
Winning playoff games by 13 and 25 can be pretty heady stuff, especially for a team that hasn't been there in a while. How do you think this team will handle it between now and Friday, and how will it be ready for Friday?
We're cool. We got a great locker room, guys that understand the moment, and a guy like Jae Crowder who's been to the finals. He's been through a lot. I done played a lot too, and I'm always talking about 07, 08 when we played against the Spurs. And I was in New Orleans. We won the first two games, beat the brakes off of them. I remember looking over there at Tim and all of them, and they weren't fazed. It was just one game. So that's what we talk about as a team too. It's just one game. We got to lock in and focus and get ready to go to Denver.
Next up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Jovan Buha.
Hey, Chris, Torrey took us through the moment on the bench where you guys heard the roar from the crowd, looked up and saw that kid going crazy. What were those moments like for you guys in the fourth quarter where they're doing the wave and all these kinds of other things where it felt like they were kind of celebrating?
Man, it's crazy. It got a little loud, and it got louder, then it got crazy. And I remember covering my ears, and coach was like, "Chris, get back in the huddle." And it just shows you how important the fans are to the game. Obviously the bubble was an experience last year, but it's nothing like having the fans at the games and the energy. I missed it.
Next is Jovan Buha with The Athletic, followed by Catherine Fitzgerald.
Hey, Chris, you've obviously played on some really good teams and some really good lineups throughout your career, but I'm curious, what makes the chemistry of this starting group so special?
The depth and what everybody brings. Book scores in his sleep. He defends. He's one of the best two-way players in the league, and we feed off that. And then we got so many weapons. Jay is never fazed by anything. Take a big shot. He's going to defend whoever you ask him to. Mikhail is like our unsung hero. Guards everybody, shot maker, drive, everything. And then DA. Can't ask for more from somebody like him. Like he guards, he runs, he rebounds, he does everything. He's literally been our MVP in the postseason so far.
Next up is going to be Catherine Fitzgerald with the Arizona Republic, followed by Gina Mizella.
Hey, Chris, the 15 assists without a turnover. I think you're the first player in league history to do that 3 times in the playoffs. So I was curious first what it means to reach that mark, but also what were you seeing from your teammates tonight to be that effective?
Guys are open. I got the easy part. All I got to do is find them. They got to make the shots. And it's a credit to our coaching staff, to tell you the truth, because the things that we've drilled all season long, it's so nice to see when they come into play in game form, especially in the playoffs. We've drilled 0.5, make the next pass, and trust, and that's how we play.
We have Devin Booker live in the locker room right now. Next up is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, followed by Colin Harmon.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned DA being the MVP for you guys during the playoffs. Tonight, he picks up those 2 quick fouls, has to come out of the game, and then comes back and doesn't pick up another foul, and also is incredibly effective again. Just Monty called that a huge growth moment for him. Just kind of from your vantage point, what did you see that kind of allowed him to push himself through that?
I think the best part of it was that DA got on our ass. He was mad. He was mad at us, and I loved it because rightfully so. He was right. We got to protect him. We got to help him, and it just shows the growth, not only in him, but our whole team. There's so much onus on him night in and night out. We asking him to rebound. We asking him to screen. We asking him to roll. And, he just out there playing hard. And, to see him bounce back from those 2 fouls and how the game that he did is great.
We have time for 3 more. Next is Colin Harmon with ABC 15, and then Greg Moore.
Chris, there was a moment there where I think you got a switch and it was Millsap that was on you. Ended up finding Torrey Craig for an easy one. But in those moments when you get the switches with the big guys and kind of have the chance to kind of put on the dribble show and get them like that, what's going through your head in those moments when you kind of have that opportunity to make a play?
Just sort of reading them. Reading them. Seeing if he jammed me up or if he back off. It's like playing ones. It's like playing one-on-one. So, yeah, just taking the read. Torrey actually bailed me out. I got in trouble. I didn't have a shot, so thank God he cut for me.
Final 2 questions are going to be Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic and Dwayne Rankin.
Chris, congratulations on the win. Great game tonight.
Appreciate it.
The assist to turnover ratio was nuts. So I wonder, are you conscious of who's hot when you're out there to figure out who to get the ball? Because you had 6 guys scoring double figures. Only thing crazier than that is that it could have been 10. So I'm curious, is that a natural chemistry thing, or is that conscious of you to say, okay, this guy needs a shot, that guy needs the ball?
It's a natural chemistry. It's a good question. Sometimes you do feel when a guy gets hot or when Book got it going. You may call a penny in for him. But I'm telling you, man, really haven't been on a team quite like this where everybody shoots it the way that they do. So you don't have to try to find a certain guy. If this guy helps in and I see Kale over there, or Cam Johnson, whoever it is, everybody are knockdown shooters. So you just literally making reads.
Final question is going to be Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic. I don't think we have Dwayne. Final question is going to be Catherine Fitzgerald with the Arizona Republic.
Chris,
when you had that block early in the game on Campazzo and you ran down, and it looked like you kind of stood over him, like hands on your hips, and just soaked that in. I'm wondering if you can take me through some of those moments where you just kind of struck that too, on top of having the play.
No, I fouled him. That's what it was. I was surprised it wasn't called. That's what it was. I fouled him, and I told him I fouled him.
Thanks for joining us, Jay.
Welcome.
First up, we're going to have Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic. All right, let's skip over to Cameron Cox with 12 News.
Hey, Jay, just how would you sum up that performance from you guys? Again, this is kind of the 4th straight game you guys delivered that knockout blow in the second half.
We're just trying to take it one game at a time. I think those guys played faster tonight. It took us a minute to get the transition down, but I think our defense helped us get out and transition ourselves and get some looks at the basket. But I feel like defensively, we definitely picked it up a little bit, and they felt us throughout the game.
Next up is Colin Harmon with ABC 15, followed by Cody Cunningham.
There we go. Hey, Jay, just wanted to get your take on the crowd tonight, and especially in the 4th quarter when you guys were on the bench and the waves going on and the chants and all of it.
We feel them. We appreciate those guys, and they're doing a hell of a job of making it tough to come in here and get a win against us with our crowd behind us, because we're feeding off of it, and we're going to need them the rest of the way. So it's definitely rocking inside our building each and every game, and we appreciate it. And we're definitely feeding off of it.
Next up is Cody Cunningham with Suns.com, followed by Greg Moore.
Hey, Jay. It just seemed like everyone was getting shots tonight. Just how special is it when you guys are playing so unselfishly like that? And just how much confidence do you guys have in each other when you're out there?
I mean, I just think that's it makes the task that much difficult for our opponent. When everybody's rolling, everybody's involved, it just makes the task very big for our opponent to get the job done. So we have trust in each other. We work at it. We talk about it. We watch film on it, and we're trying to make everybody a threat on the court, 1 through 5. So once we play like that, it's really tough to slow us down. But we did a good job tonight, just sharing the ball early, finding the right shots, and finding good looks and making them. So we definitely believe in one another, and we feed that throughout the game to one another.
Next up is Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Thank you, Jay. Congratulations, man. Good game. It's Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. And first of all, dude, I need that shirt. Like, that shirt's dope. So I just need you to run that shirt. So. But in seriousness, man, they shoot a lot of threes, and you guys did a great job of defending the three for the first 3 quarters. And I'm wondering, did you want them to keep shooting them, or were you worried that they were going to shoot themselves back into the game? Did you worry that they were going to find a different way to find offense? I just don't know what it's like to be on the court in that moment when you're seeing them miss these shots.
Honestly, we felt like we gave them some looks that we wasn't trying to give them earlier in the game. In the first quarter, we felt like a couple transition looks they got with no contest. That's not how we want to play our defense. That's not our style of play. And we just wanted to tighten that up a little bit. We want to contest every shot. Obviously, they're very capable of making shots, making threes especially. They have the personnel for it, but it was just a tough night for them. But we want to contest everything. I think most of their shots in the second half came contested, and I think that plays into how we want to play, make or miss. As long as we get a contested each shot, we feel like the odds are in our favor. So early in the game, we gave them a few looks. We didn't like it. We talked about it at half. We just tried to clean it up a little bit in the second half and make everything tough.
Next up is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Jovan Buha.
Thank you. Jay, wanted to ask just about the whole idea of imposing your will as a group on Denver, and how much do you feel like that's maybe impacted the first 2 games and being on all levels, where it was running, being physical, the whole bit?
Yep, that's just how we try to play. We're trying to impose our will early. It's a great team over there. We don't want them to get comfortable, especially offensively. Once they get comfortable offensively, it's tough to stop them. So we just want to try to make them feel us early and try to make it last for 48 minutes, the entirety of the game. So we respect those guys, and I think they're getting our best effort on that end of the court. Their offense is very high powered. They got the MVP on their team, and we're aware of that, and we know everything runs through him. So we're just trying to make it as difficult as possible, not only for him but for others too, for Porter Jr., for Gordon. We're just trying to make it as difficult as possible for those guys because they can't score the ball. So it's a team collective effort. We're doing a good job of honing in on what we need to hone in on and trying to figure out the rest of the stuff on the fly and play hard. But there's definitely a sense of urgency on our behalf because of their offensive potency that they have over there. So kudos to those guys for us being so locked in on them that we respect them because we respect their offense and their style of play.
Next up is Jovan Buha with The Athletic, followed by David Brandt.
Hey, Jay, you've obviously played on some really good teams, some really good lineups, but what makes that starting group's chemistry so special?
I feel like we're communicating with each other. We're 10x communication where we bring it right to each other. We're trying to get the job done collectively, and I think that plays a part in us being able to just play free on both ends of the court because we're communicating with one another. And we're trying to we got the same goal. We're trying to get the best shot on offense, and defensively, we're trying to help each other. When a man goes get beat, we're trying to rotate and have all 5 guys on the string. So it's everything we're doing collectively. It's not one guy doing anything special. We're just trying to do it together, and I think that makes us much more tougher. And I think that's what you're seeing right now. You're just seeing a 5 guys on the court just collectively doing whatever it takes to get the job done on both ends of the court, and it's working out for us right now.
Next up is David Brandt with the AP, followed by Kirsten Susel.
Hey, Jay, I know physicality has always been a part of your game, but it seems like, especially the playoffs, you've kind of turned into the team's enforcer a little bit. Is that a role that you relish or that you try to do, or is that something that just kind of comes natural?
Honestly, it comes at me. Honestly, I don't seek it. other teams just try to be physical with me, try to get me riled up. Not I don't know if they know. I like that style of play. I like to play. I like the trash talk. I like all of that because it definitely gets me going. And I think my team definitely feeds off of it a little bit, the energy of it. But I gotta be smart. I can't always bite the bait and keep giving money back to the league. I've given a lot of money back this whole playoff. So I got to be smart and try to protect myself and protect my money a little bit.
Next up is Kirsten Susel with 12 News.
Hey, Jay, wanted to go back to the crowd tonight. Torrey said that he had a moment during a timeout where he looked up at the Jumbotron and saw a kid take his shirt off and just sort of thought to himself, this is wild. Did you have a moment like that where you're just like, I can't believe this?
I saw the same thing. I looked up at the Jumbotron exactly the same way, and I saw the kid take his shirt off. That was pretty electric. Because I was wondering why the crowd was getting so loud. It was a timeout, and I just looked up at the Jumbotron and seeing the kid take his shirt off. But it's rocking in there each and every night. Can't even lie. It's a lot of good energy, and we're feeding off of it, and it's making us go. So we definitely appreciate it, and you definitely can feel it. I don't care if you're watching, spectating, or playing, you feel the energy in the building. And it's great to be a part of.
Next up is Cam Cox again with 12 News.
Hey, Jay, just curious, your salsa from the Lakers kind of went viral. Have you seen some of the stuff out there on social media about it, some of the shirts and all that out there with your picture on it?
I saw a little stuff, but that was last series. I was trying to move on a little bit, but definitely the fans and the interaction with them with that situation has been great. That was the last series. I felt like we got disrespected a little bit, game 3 or whatever. So I did what I had to do in the closing game, but I've moved on to Denver now. Hopefully, once we win the whole thing, I can salsa with the crowd, salsa with the fans, with some of the Phoenix fans here. Once we bring a championship home, so that's the goal.
Our last question is going to be with Leonardo Torres from Peru.
Hi, Jay. It's Leonardo Torres from Peru. Congrats on the win. Jay, what positive aspects could you take away from these 2 games, thinking about game 3 on the road?
Honestly, we're just talking to each other. Game 3 will be the hardest game of the series. We feel like, especially the most important game. These guys are going to play with a lot of energy. I'm sure Joker will get his MVP trophy in front of their crowd, so their crowd will be behind them. We just got to come in and lead on each other like we've been doing all year, set our game plan and attack these guys no other way than we've been doing all year. So we're looking forward to it. We're going to enjoy this win tonight, but we're going to flip our switch early in the morning to game 3 and get prepared for this battle in Denver. But it's the most important game of the season.
First up is going to be Cody Cunningham with the Phoenix Suns.
Hey, Book. Chris Paul had 15 assists tonight with 0 turnovers and, also hit those big daggers in the 4th. Just after that shoulder scare last series, how incredible is it to just have him playing at this level again?
Yeah, I feel like he's back. We knew when there wasn't anything structural wrong with it that, all he needed was time. And he got some time. I know he's doing around the clock treatment like always. And, you can tell he's back and he's feeling it.
Next up is Kevin Zimmerman with Arizona Sports.
Hey, Book. Monty credited your guys' defense tonight. Just from the effort plays like Torrey's block on Monte Morris, Cam had that chase down steal from behind. Like, what did you see just as far as your defensive effort and communicating throughout the game?
Yeah, we've been saying that all season. I think our versatility and just our passion, our holding each other accountable. We just want to defend. We know if we defend that, we can get out in transition and, everything will happen how it's supposed to on offense end.
Next up is Kellen Olson from Arizona Sports, followed by Jovan Buha.
Hey, Book, to bounce off that, it's been a really long time since the Suns have had a good defensive team. And just how much easier is it for you this year? How much easier does it feel as a team to play in that type of environment where you guys are playing good defense and making things easier, I guess, to put it that way?
Yeah, it's contagious. It's contagious, and it's been that way from the start. You definitely don't want to be the guy that's out there not defending. You'll stick out, like a sore thumb, So like I said earlier, you know, the ability to hold each other accountable and not take it personal. We talk to each other all throughout the game, and I think that helps us out.
Next up is Jovan Buha.
Hey, Devin, your starting five has played more than any other lineup this season together. And I'm curious, what type of growth have you seen from the start of the season until now? And what type of groove do you feel like you guys have found? It's been 2 straight games with all 5 guys in double figures.
Yeah, I feel like we've just gotten better in every category, you know, to be honest. And I think that just came with time and, you know, getting put in the fire, getting put in situations and learning from experience. I mean, we're a brand new team, a fresh team from the beginning of the season. And, you know, we had some hiccups and some learning lessons that, you know, we came in and we made a stress to, you know, not let those things happen again, you know, or limit them. So that's been the name of the game for us, you know, the whole season.
Next up is Nick King from AZ Family.
Devin, I might have missed the first question, so apologize if this was hit on, but for you not to need to come back in the game in the fourth quarter, second straight game where those first 3 minutes, Chris really leads a run that finishes the other team more or less. How do you describe what he's doing to start these fourth quarters?
I mean, it's really the whole entire game. I think the fourth quarter, he can kick it up a notch, but, you know, just his pace, you know, his ability to, you know, control the game, you know, even when he's not scoring the ball. Obviously, 15 assists, 0 turnovers is unheard of. But, you know, for Chris Paul, it's a thing that he does. It makes it look normal. You know, so just controlling the game from all aspects. And those fourth quarters are big for us. You know, you come out and you put a team away like that, you get extra rest, which is, you know, very important at this point in the season.
Next up is David Brandt from the AP, followed by Cameron Cox.
Hey, Devin, you just touched on it a little bit, but Chris's 15 assists and no turnovers. Have you ever seen anybody that contributes so much good to the game with almost nothing bad? I mean, like, to just play so mistake-free on top of contributing so much just seems kind of incredible, especially in a playoff environment.
I mean, I haven't seen it with my own eyes. If I have the name, somebody maybe Magic Johnson. You know, so to be named with, you know, a guy like Magic, and I know he passed Magic's assist record this year, you know, it's just, that's legendary, man. That's forever. That's bigger than the game of basketball. That's an icon.
Next up is Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Book, congrats on the win. Just curious, where do you think you guys' confidence level is at right now with the way you guys are playing? This is kind of the 4th straight game you guys have delivered that knockout blow in the second half pretty early. Just what level of basketball do you think you guys are playing right now when you look at it from a big picture?
We're playing high-level basketball, but, you know, we're taking it one game at a time. You know, that's our mentality. You know, we're not coming in thinking about, you know, 2 games from now or next series or what's going to happen. You know, we're coming in with the one-game agenda because, you know, these games have their own personality, each and every one, and we understand that. I mean, we just went down 2-1 to the Lakers, and, you know, it refilled us as a team and it brought us together. So, you know, we don't want to get, what Monty says, happy on the farm. So that's our mentality. We're just taking it one game at a time.
Next up is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Jovan Buha.
Evan, you had talked before, I think after the last game, saying, you know, you had hit the bottom with this franchise, but now to see where it's at now, I know you guys got a long way to go, but to hear that fan reaction to pretty much every play tonight, what was that like for you?
I mean, it's hard to put into words. Like I said, I mean, even DeAndre coming to me and be like, man, we've seen it when it was, and then I tell him every time, and I've seen it before you were here also. You know, so it has been a long time, but, you know, I wouldn't change the path. I wouldn't change what we went through as an organization for anything. You know, that's part of the story, and that makes this moment and these moments that much better, and make you, you know, want to not take anything for granted.
Next up is Nicole Jarina.
Hi, Devin. Congrats for the win. How much impact has been the role of Jae Crowder at both sides of the court in this series and also his experience in playoff?
Yeah, I mean, he's been there before, and you can see it in the energy that he brings to the game. He brings a grit and a toughness, to our team that is much needed, especially during these times. And I'm just speaking on the defense end. His floor spacing and his playmaking ability on the other end is, a bonus for us. I feel like he opens up, a lot of stuff around the paint for us with his ability, to shoot and make people, be honest and stay out there on him. So, we love Jae, and we lean on him for that grit and that toughness, a lot of times.
Okay, our last question is going to be with Leonardo Torres from Peru.
Hi, Devin. It's Leonardo Torres from Peru. Congrats on the win. Devin, how much fun was it to play tonight with such an electric crowd and the whole team focused on winning?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can get a win at, this point of the season, it's going to be fun. I mean, you see the crowd involved, like the last question, from every single play, they're going crazy like that. So, it's definitely a home court advantage for us. I'm glad we took care of home and made it 2-0, but, now we're off to Denver for the next one.